to your mat. Thank you for showing up to your mat in a space that I know it's not always easy to show up when it is in your living room, in your bedroom, wherever you might be. I don't think it'll be outside if you're in Arizona today. So just start to settle into whatever your space is. Start to hit play on that music. Eyes closed or a soft gaze. Rooting down through your sit bones, rising up through your crown, and just start to settle into your space. A little moment of gratitude for AARP sponsoring this class that we can do free yoga today together. A little moment of gratitude for yourself for showing up. Take a big, deep breath in. Audible exhale. Take 2 more deep breaths, just like that. Last exhale, really let the shoulders melt away from the ears. Again, comfortable seat, so whatever that looks like for you. I like a little height underneath the seat. Hands rest on the knees, drop chin towards the chest, and start to rock from side to side. Start to notice how your neck's feeling this morning. And with all my yoga classes, I really stress a balance of effort and ease here. So stretching into the neck, but not going past that edge. And next time your left ear comes to left shoulder, let it get nice and heavy, stretching the right side of your neck. And then walk the fingertips of the right hand out along the mat beside you. If that starts to not feel good in the right shoulder, you can just leave the hand resting on your knee. Next, exhale, come chin to chest, let the hand return to the knee, and then go opposite side. So right ear, right shoulder, nice and heavy. Left fingertips can walk out along the mat or stay resting on that left knee. Deep breath in, slow breath out. And then a few more rocks from side to side and come back to center. Roll the shoulders up to the ears and down the back 3 times. And then letting the hands fall back to the lap. Take a second, notice which one of your feet is out in front, which one we tend to cross in front first. Uncross your legs, give a little shake, and then go back the opposite way. I always try to tell you before we do that because I had a teacher who didn't tell us, and it was so hard to know which way to go back. So come back that opposite way. And this time we're going to wake up your ribs, your center of your spine. So start to inhale, push your heart forward. Exhale, round the heart back. Inhale, push out. Exhale, push back. You might start to include the neck in this motion, a little fluidity. You might start to hear some sounds. Next, exhale, reverse directions. And this time, try to go even slower on these circles. And then come back to center. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms up to the sky. Drop the left hand down, root down through your right sit bone, raise your right arm up, 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 and then reach over to the left. A lot of the time we start to roll that right shoulder forward and we're blocking the heart. Try to roll your right shoulder back and gaze underneath your right arm. Big inhale into the right rib cage. Exhale, reach. Inhale, come up, both arms. Exhale, bring right hand down, left hand reaches up and over. And you can always use blocks underneath the hands. Always try to make these poses as comfortable for your body as possible. One more, reach through the left fingertips, come back up to center. This time we're going to twist to the left. So twisting belly, ribs, chest, and then gaze. Right hand falls in front, left hand falls behind you. If you want to deepen this stretch, you can take the right hand to the outside of the left knee. Inhale, find lots of length through the spine. Exhale, gaze over your left shoulder. Take one more deep breath out. Inhale, circle back to center, arms raise up. Exhale, twist to the opposite side. Left hand goes in front, right hand goes behind. Twist belly, ribs, chest, and then gaze. To deepen the stretch, you can bring the left hand to the outside of the right knee. Inhale for length. Exhale, twist. Next, inhale, come back to center. This time we're going to bring our hands down in front of us and come into a tabletop position. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. Again, the blanket is a nice one if you're on tile to help protect the knees. Fingers spread wide, push the earth away from you. And then take your knees to the width of the mat here. Bring your hands one handprint forward, and then we're going to start to circle through the hips. Inhaling as you come forward, bring the weight into the wrists, and then exhale as you circle back towards the heels. This is one of the poses that I feel it helps to close the eyes or soft gaze, to try to really feel into the circles. Notice where maybe you need a little extra love and attention today. Next, exhale, reverse direction. And then we'll sink our hips back towards our heels, child's pose. Knees can be close together to stretch a little bit deeper into your low back, or knees can stay wider to stretch a little bit more into your hips. Reach your arms long down the mat and then let your forehead either rest on the earth or on a block or a blanket. Take 3 deep breaths in here. If there's any other intention you'd like to set for your practice, besides the balancing of effort and ease, go ahead and set an intention now. Next, inhale, come up to a tabletop position again. From here, we're going to stretch the calves a little bit before down dog. So reach your left foot back, ball of the foot on the earth. Feel that heel push down and back. Start to stretch up the calf in the back of the leg. If you have really tight calves, you can add a little bit of a bounce to help stretch. And then slowly slide that left knee back. Same thing on the other side. Reach the right ball of the foot back. push down through the heel, and then adding that bounce if it felt good on the other side. This is always a good prep before down dog if you have tight hamstrings too. So then the hands, we want our hands just slightly turned out, pointer finger going forward, tuck the toes, hips up and back, downward dog. Start to pedal out the feet again, stretching a little bit from side to side. Really push down through the L of your fingertips. So that's the pointer finger and the thumb. And then look back at your feet as we start to slow that pedaling. Bring the feet to about hips width apart. So 1 or 2 fists. And then gaze towards your thighs or your belly button as you take a deep inhale. Audible exhale. Then deep, deep, deep into the knees. On your next exhale, step or hop to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Hands come to shins or ankles. Reach the crown of the forehead out, or the crown of the head, not the forehead. And then exhale, bend deep into the knees. Grab opposite elbows. Let the head hang heavy between the arms. You can heel toe the feet a little wider if you'd like to swing from side to side. And then the blocks are there to support you, so you can always bring the earth up to you if you don't want to grab onto the elbows. Find somewhere that's comfortable to hang out for a breath or two. This is also a good chance to grab a sip of water if you need it. If we're grabbing onto opposite elbows, go ahead and release those now. Bend just a little bit into the knees and then start to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Roll the shoulders up to the ears and down the back. Root down through the feet. Palms face forward, fingertips reach down. Gaze out or close the eyes for a deep breath. And check in with the mind here. See if it's being your cheerleader. Is it trying to hurry on to the next pose? Just take a deep breath, come back into this present moment here. Feel the mat beneath your toes. Inhale, circle sweep up to the sky. Exhale, hinge at the hip, forward fold. Plant your hands, send your left leg back, runner's lunge. This is a nice time if you do have the blocks to bring the blocks underneath the hands. Or you can let the fingertips just hover or fingertips touch the earth. Front knee doesn't go past front ankle. And then imagine we're really pushing off with that back heel, almost like it's like a runner's block. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, imagine your thighs pulling in towards center. And then next exhale, we're gonna drop our knee down to the ground. If you have your blanket, you're gonna bring that underneath. So drop that back knee down to the earth. And then inhale, come all the way up, hands rest on top of the right thigh. Take a moment here, just slightly tuck the tailbone. That's gonna deepen the stretch on the front of the left hip. So we don't want to stick out like this. We want to just tuck a little bit ever so slightly. Inhale, raise the left arm high to the sky. And then you want to look like you're holding a platter. So like this, pushing up through the heel of your hand. So push up through the left palm and then down through the left knee to deepen that stretch on the left hip. Knees are at about a 90-degree angle. Next, inhale, raise the right arm up, grab your left wrist, and pull it up and over to the right. So we're gently pulling to the side. Again, gaze under that left arm. Inhale, come back up, release the wrist. And then we're gonna exhale, twist to the right. Belly, ribs, chest, and then gaze, arms out to a T. Try not to lead with the shoulder. Try to make this twist more through the spine. And then if it's comfortable, gaze back towards your right thumb. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Inhale, come back to center, arms raised overhead. This time we're gonna exhale, shift our hips back, straighten the front leg, flex through the front foot. This is where if you have blocks, I like them at the highest setting. Come onto the heel of your front foot for half split. If you don't have the blocks, we'll just come fingertips to the earth. And as you can see, it starts to round my spine. So if you have blocks, come up as high as you can until you feel a flat low back. From here, start to fold forward until you feel a stretch on the back of the leg. The goal is not to get the forehead to the leg, although some will say it is. The goal is to feel a stretch. So stop whenever you feel a stretch in your body. Finding that edge, but not going past. We have a breath or two more here. If you want, you can start to rock back and forth between these two poses, or hold that half split still for one more breath. Next, inhale, rock forward into your runner's lunge. Hands frame the foot, step onto the ball of the back foot. Step your front foot back for a plank pose. From here, you can lower bottom of a push-up. I have an injured shoulder, so I always prefer knees, chest, chin, but do what feels good to you. All the way down on the exhale. Inhale, up dog or cobra. If you have low back issues, stay in this nice baby cobra. If it feels okay, you can straighten your arms to full cobra. And then if the low back feels really good, you can push into the tops of the feet, lift the thighs, and come into up dog. Wherever you're at, tuck the toes, belly button to spine, hips up and back, down dog. So that first one, I like to give a lot of options so you can kind of see what works well for you. And then from here on out, just choose. Do you like to go regular push-up or knees, chest, chin? Do what feels good for you. Next, inhale, raise the left leg high to the sky, point through the toe. Exhale, step it between the hands. Back foot steps forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Push your crown outward. Exhale, deep, deep bend. Melt the stomach onto the thighs. So I always say here, I see a lot of straining, but bend the knees. Bring your knees to you. Take a few deep breaths here. If you're like me and you're warming up, you might want to turn the fan on. Whew. Take a breath. Next, inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, send the right leg back this time, runner's lunge. Hands can come to the earth or to blocks. Push out through that back heel and imagine one long line of energy from your back foot, up the back leg, through the spine, and then all the way out through the crown of the head. Next, exhale, lower that back knee down. Knees come to 90-degree angle, slight tuck of the tailbone. Raise the right arm up like we're holding a platter. Push up through the heel of the hand, but then notice if you start to pull that shoulder up towards your ear. Try to slide that shoulder down away from the ear. Push down through the right knee and up through the right hand. Next, inhale, reach that left hand up and over. Grab your right wrist and pull it over to the left. Roll the right shoulder back and gaze underneath the right arm. Next, inhale, come back up. Release the wrist, and then we're going to twist to the left. Belly, ribs, chest, and then gaze. Reach your fingertips opposite directions. And then gazing back towards the left thumb if it's comfortable for the neck. Next, inhale, come back to center. Exhale, bring the hips back, straighten through the front leg. Come onto the heel of the front foot. You're pushing the heel away from you and then pulling that left hip crease back. Come up as much as you need to flatten your low back. And then starting to hinge at the hip. So it's not folding from the low back. It's really hinging at the hip crease until we feel that edge. Check and make sure you're not locking out your knee. And then these last couple of breaths, your choice to stay holding here, or you can rock forward and back. Coming back into your lunge eventually, hands frame the foot, tuck the back toes, step the front foot back, plank pose. Exhale, bottom of foot push-up or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Tuck the toes, hips up and back, downward dog. Your choice to hold down dog for the next 5 breaths, or to come down to the knees, hips back to the heels, child's pose. I will never call down dog a rest pose. So find where you can hang out for a few breaths. Check in with yourself and see, have you got a balance of effort and ease? Or is there one of those you need to bring a little extra of in the next flow? Eventually, we'll all meet back in down dog. From there, bending deep into the knees on an inhale. Exhale, step or hop, front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, deep, deep bend. From here, hands plant onto the earth. Take a large step back with the left leg, coming back into that runner's lunge. Blocks are there to support you, or using pillows and blankets. Take a look at the feet and make sure they're staggered. So we want to be on train tracks, not a tightrope. And the wider our stance is, the more it'll add a little balance. If this feels unstable, you can do the same flow we just did, kneeling, and they're pretty similar. So just find what works again for your body. If you feel good, coming inhale, arms up overhead. From here, back knee is bent as much as you need to square the hips to the front of the mat. From there, start to straighten through until we find that edge. Arms overhead. Relax shoulders down away from the ears. You can stay holding here. This is a hard enough pose. Really working balance. If you want an added challenge, we're going to raise that left hand up to the sky like we did when we were kneeling with the platter hand. Right wrist comes up and over, pulling over to the right side. And then back to center. Again, you can stay here or twisting belly, ribs, chest, and gaze to the right side. Arms spread out to a T, gazing back towards the right thumb. If we're kneeling, it's that same one we did before. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, warrior 2. So if you're kneeling, come meet us in warrior 2. Deep, deep bend in the front knee, but not going past front ankle. Arms out to a T, and then gaze over your front middle finger. A lot of the times I see people kind of leaning forward. Try to have your shoulders over your hips. That outer edge of the back foot is almost parallel with the back of the mat. And big toe going forward. Flip your right palm over. Lift the right fingertips up to the sky. Let the left leg go down the back of the, or left hand down the back of the leg. Your choice, you can also wrap that hand around to the right hip. Try not to lose the bend on the front of the knee. And then belly button to spine, windmill the hands up, and then windmill them down, frame the foot. Step it back, plank pose. Exhale, bottom of a push-up. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Shoulders away from the ears. Tuck the toes, hips up and back, downward dog. Downward dog or child's pose. Your choice for a few breaths. You're doing a great job. Start to settle back into that breathing. Our breath is kind of a little bit of a judge, so I'm breathing a little heavy, so I might need to slow it down just a little bit. Want the heart pumping, but want to be able to have a nice steady breath. Settling back into your down dog. Inhale, raise the left leg high to the sky. Step it through. Back foot steps forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, deep bend. Plant the hands. Send the right leg back, runner's lunge. Blocks or no blocks, your choice. Feet are train tracks, not a tightrope. And then inhale, arms come up. Again, you can do this kneeling the same. And then right hand lifts up, holding the platter. Really push, push, push through the heel of the hand. Left hand comes up and over and pulls over to the left. Gaze under the right arm. Inhale, come back to center. Restabilize yourself before you start to do that twist. And then again, not leading with the shoulder. A lot of the times I see people kind of doing this number. Try to twist more belly, ribs, chest, and then gaze. Really open your arms wide, space between the collarbones. Inhale, come back to center. Open opposite side of the mat, warrior two. Outer edge of the foot runs parallel with the back of the mat. Deep bend in the front knee, arms out to a T. Check back on your back arm. A lot of the times I see it doing its own thing back there. Look back and try to level it out with your front hand. And then take a look at your left knee. Is it falling in towards your big toe? If so, imagine pushing it out a little bit more towards that pinky toe, keeping nice and engaged through both quads. Flip the front palm, left fingertips up to the sky, right hand down the back of the right leg, or wraps around to the left hip, stretching through left side body. And then belly button to spine, windmill the arms down, frame the foot, step it back, plank pose. Exhale, bottom of a push-up. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Tuck the toes, hips up and back, downward dog. We'll take 3 breaths, down dog or child's pose. Starting to wrap up this fiery portion of our flow. Coming back to down dog, right foot raises high to the sky. And then exhale, step it through. Back foot comes to meet, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, deep, deep bend. Let the head hang heavy. Last little forward fold here before we come down to the mat. So if you want to rock from side to side, any little other stretches or wiggles you want to do in this pose, go ahead and take them now. Making your way back to your forward fold, step or hop back to plank pose. Exhale, lower bottom of a push-up. Inhale, up dog or cobra, or with me on the baby cobra. Tuck the toes, hips up and back, last down dog of class. You can stay in that traditional one, or if you want to change it up a little bit, take the feet to the width of the mat, heels in, toes out, and just start to rock a little from side to side. Making your way back to center. Exhale, lowering the heel or knees down to the earth. Take one hip to the ground and then swing your legs out in front of you. If we tend to round that low back here, this one kind of reminds me of that stretch we would do in PE. Blanket, again, is going to be a great option to help unround the low back, help us hinge from the hip. Move the flesh away from the sit bones, so you're sitting right up on the sit bones. That'll also help out a lot. Flex the feet so that your heels are pushing out and your toes are coming back towards you. If you're like me and you have a knee injury, I really recommend a rolled blanket underneath your knees just to make sure we don't start to lock out the legs here. If you do have a strap, a leash, a belt, whatever you want to use, this is a great option for an assist, but I'll show you first without a prop. So hands pressed beside the hips into the earth, pushing down through the hands and up through the top of the head. Deep breath into your belly, ribs, and heart. Exhale, heart, ribs, and belly. Take a deep inhale, find length. And then exhale, hinge at the hip, forward fold. Walk your hands out beside your legs until you find that first edge. From there, pull back about 10%, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, as we exhale, we create space to fold forward. And then once we've folded as far as it's comfortable, you can relax through neck and shoulders, letting the head become heavier. So it's okay to have a little rounding through that upper, but we want to try to keep that hinge through the hips. If you have a strap, you can take the strap around the ball of the feet, pull yourself back to that upright position, and then start to hinge, pulling the elbows back beside you as you pull forward. I already feel quite a big stretch without the strap, so just again, always finding your practice, your choice. We'll hang out here for a few more deep breaths. If you're ever struggling to get to sleep, forward folds are a really nice one to help calm down the body. I also sometimes just even like to lay with my legs up the wall. So just remember nighttime classes or anything, this is usually why you see forward folds coming all at the end of class, these ones. Because they help to cool the body down, they help to relax the body. In these last 3 breaths of this pose, see if there's a way you can just do 10% less. Maybe that means relaxing the facial expression. Maybe that means not folding quite as far. Just find a way to maybe do just a little bit less. One more deep breath. And then we can walk our hands to the side, helping ourselves come back up to a comfortable seat. From here, we're going to take soles of the feet together as close or as far away as the knees feel good. So let the knees kind of be the judge here. If you have boxer blankets, I always like to bring those underneath my knees. We're still sitting up on the sit bones here. And then soles of the feet are pushing into each other. Take your peace fingers and grab onto your big toes. Roll the shoulders down and back. Lift your heart out. And then exhale, begin to fold forward. You can keep using your toe straps, or you can use your hands and walk them out, almost looking kind of like down dog. And then let the head rest heavy. Whichever variation you choose, keeping the soles of the feet pushing towards each other. Holding the pose, but not the breath. We'll hold here for a few more breaths. If your body would like to come out of this pose sooner, you can walk the hands back up and come back to your seat. If you'd like to deepen this stretch for the last few breaths, you can walk the hands forward or work on deepening the breath. And so where our focus goes, energy flows. So notice where you feel this stretch the most and send your breath right to that place. Is it on the outer hips, the inner thighs, the knees? After that next exhale, take the hands to the outer knees as you come up. Help the knees come back together. We'll move our props off to the side. I like to just have my blankets stacked up nice in case I want to use them for any of the other poses. And you can keep them off to the left side of your mat. Take your seat to the center. If you want to grab a sip of water before we lay down. And then hands come to the backs of the thighs and we start to gently roll onto our back. Hug the knees in towards the heart and start to circle a little bit on the sacrum, the tailbone. And reverse directions. And from here, we're gonna do a little bit of twisting. So go ahead and lower your feet to the earth. We'll hug that right knee back towards the chest, but then we'll extend the left leg long. Give your right knee a hug, and we'll take the left hand to the outside of the right knee. Start to push the right knee over to the left side, rolling on your left hip. This is why we have the props out to the left side. You can bring blocks under the ankle and knee, pillows, blankets, whatever feels comfortable for you. Then arms spread out to a T. From here, you can gaze up towards the ceiling, or if it's comfortable for the neck, it'll deepen the twist if you turn and look all the way towards your right thumb. Again, the balance of effort and ease. One way we know if we maybe twisted a little too far is that right shoulder starts to peek up off the ground. Try to root that back of the right shoulder into the earth, which might mean we don't twist quite as far. Twists are a great time for letting go. We're cleaning the spine. We're twisting through the stomach. If there's anything from your week that you just want to release and let go before the new week, go ahead and with each exhale, let it go. Breathing in that new energy, and with each exhale, making space. Eyes can be closed or a soft gaze as you rest here. Breathing in belly, ribs, and heart. Exhaling top to bottom. Take a few more deep breaths here. When you're ready to untwist, you'll hug the right knee back in towards the heart, coming back onto your seat. Option to get a little added hamstring stretch by stretching the right leg up to the sky, pushing both heels away from both hip points. And then exhale, lowering it down. Taking a moment of pause before we switch to the other side. Reaching over for our props and shifting them over to the other side of our mat. Hug the left knee in towards the heart. Right hand comes to the outside of the left knee as we start to push it over to the right, rolling onto the right hip point. You can see my left shoulder starts to peek up, so I'm going to ground the back of the left shoulder down, which means I need to build my props a little higher underneath my knee. Palms up to the sky, gaze can follow or look over towards the left thumb. Eyes closed or a soft gaze as you breathe deep into your belly. Feel the breath rising up the spine and then back down. Breathing in and letting go. In these longer poses where we're holding the pose for longer, the mind can start to wander. Start to go back into before or after class. If you find your mind doing that now, a good trick is to use the senses to help pull you back in. What do you hear around you? Where is your body touching the ground? Is the air cold or warm? Can you hear the sound of your breath? You're welcome to rest here as long as you like. Waiting until you feel balanced from side to side. When that time comes, you can gently unwind like we did with the other side. Option to raise the left leg high to the sky. Push out through both heels, stretching legs long. And then slowly lowering to meet the right. At this point in class, I like to give a minute or two if there's any other poses that call to you to make your practice feel more complete. Maybe it feels good to come into happy baby, grabbing your big toes and rocking from side to side. Maybe your body needs a little extra twist. Just take this time to do whatever your body's calling for right now. And while you do that, I'm going to give an alternative to a traditional Shavasana. So you can always, once you're done with your pose, settle into traditional Shavasana, which is just lying back. You can use blankets to cover up or support under the knees or head. But this is a nice alternative if you're a snorer. So if you do go to a studio class, this is a good move if you know you snore during Shavasana. So you'll take one block at the highest setting and one block at the medium setting. Again, you can use blankets to build this up instead. And then you take your pillow or bolster and lie it back over the blocks. If you have enough props, I recommend an extra support under the knees. And then we'll come into that butterfly-like pose where we have the soles of our feet touching together. And then start to lean back on the bolster. Arms open, palms up. This is a nice heart opener, really opens the shoulders if we work at a desk, or if we're sitting rounded at all, this can help to unround the shoulders. So whenever you're done with your poses, you can choose this variation or just lie back on your mat, whatever you have. And taking your time to get as comfortable as possible. Once you find that comfortable position, start to let the body get heavy, resting into your support you made. Back of the head heavy. Eyes resting. Relaxing all expression of the face. Come to the part of the practice where there's nothing left to do. All you have to do is simply be, rest and breathe. As you rest, again, you can always bring your breath to come back to the present. You have nowhere to be after class immediately. I invite you to stay here as long as you like. If you would like to end class together, you can start to slowly wake up the body by wiggling fingers and toes. Maybe even stretching the arms overhead like that first stretch when we wake up in the morning. Rolling off to one side or staying resting on the props as we take another moment of gratitude. Gratitude for our bodies. Gratitude for this practice. And gratitude for those who made it possible. Take a deep breath in. Slow breath out. With the strength of your arms, push yourself back up to a comfortable seat. Hands coming to meet at heart center. Pressing left into right, right into left. May we find more balance of effort and ease, of doing and non-doing, both on and off the mat. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. I also would like to say I teach about yin and yang, not because us yoga teachers have it mastered, but they always say, teach what you need. So I know I can often be go, go, go. And the practice reminds me to go slow, slow, slow sometimes. Thank you again to AARP and FitPHX. I am so excited that I get to teach these classes each month. So I really hope you'll join me for the next one. And two, let me know in the comments, is there a certain area of the body that you want me to focus on? Is it low back pain? Is it knee pain? Let me know. I love working with injuries. I love working with all different shapes, modifications. So let me know what you guys want to see more of. And the FitPHX crew and I will try to tailor it to your guys' needs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Neck tightness, yes. I see now with like all the texting, we do a lot of this. And so for every inch forward your ear is from your shoulders, it adds 10 pounds of pressure down your neck and shoulders. So if you think like holding a bowling ball close to your body versus far away, we can get a lot of straining during the neck. So I can definitely do a lot of fun stuff for the neck. And then Kat, is there anything else you need to say before everybody heads off? Ooh, hip stretches. I got a lot of good ones for hips. Okay. It looks like hip and neck next time.
I just wanted to say thank you. This was great, Lisa. We're so excited to have you. And thank you everyone for joining us. I think it went amazing and it's a great start to the weekend. So enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Yes, and drink plenty of water. We got a lot of things moving and twisting, so drink plenty of water, even though it's raining.
When is the next session?
Kat,
It's the second Saturday of each month. I'm not sure the date off the top of my head
Okay,
for
great.
September, but it's
I think
Saturday.
it's September 11th.
There we go.
Thank
Yep,
you.
September 11th.
Yeah, and so September 11th, we'll do some neck and hips. Awesome.
Perfect.
Thank you, Megan. And you guys feel free to follow me on Do Yoga with Lisa if you're on Facebook or Instagram. And then I will see everybody next month. And let me know if you don't have any yoga props. I'll probably use about the same props next time. And maybe a little wall space. Maybe we'll do some wall yoga. Thank you, Kat.
Thank you. Bye.